They've always wanted to get Durk and Keef. Keef realized that this was just not a good situation. He dipped out. Obviously, his own gang turned on him, so he went to California. Durk has been a big target just sitting there, and his career benefited from it. So around like 2013, 2014, when the drill movement calmed down, Durk got dropped by Def Jam. When he got dropped by Def Jam, that was kind of a mark of, yeah, drill isn't that thing anymore. Durk is very resourceful. He's a really good guy. Trust me, I've known him damn near, personal communications for definitely over 10 years. I covered him for damn near 15 at this point. But I'm saying this to say the police always wanted to get Durk. So let me give you some instances. Durk caught 3 gun charges in Chicago. People usually believe there's a 3-strike, rule where like, hey, it's the third one, you got to go. Durk did amass some fame and notoriety and money, and he avoided most of the punishments that would usually come with that. If you think about it, Durk, 3 gun cases, never did time. And don't you ever utter out of your mouth that he snitched or anything. No, he had good lawyers. He knew how to play the system. We found out yesterday that Durk Banks was arrested, and we found out that the charge he was being held on was a murder for hire charge. We read through an entire indictment. It's about like 18 pages or so. It detailed someone put money on the head of Quando Rondo for a retaliation murder that was supposed to be revenge for the death of KingVon. They got a drop from someone about Quando being in LA at some downtown hotel, and a lot of things then happened. We got a bunch of names who were arrested, 5 names. You can see 3 of the mugshots here. This is OTF Didi, OTF Vonnie, and OTF Boogie. According to the feds, when Didi's setting up this murder, Didi doesn't use OTF niggas. He goes outside OTF, and he gets some other niggas. He's like, all right, I'm going to get you these niggas out here. They solid. They going to do the murder. They going to shut the fuck up. They not going to snitch. It appears that maybe Durk sunk himself. Durk not only had Didi recruit 2 niggas, Durk talked to 2 other snitches. He talked to Co-conspirator 2 and 5. So you can't really say Durk's man snitched on him. Durk is saying directly, Banks, that's Durk, and Co-conspirator 5 asked Co-conspirator 2 to go to Cali that day. Durk and Co-conspirator 5, so Co-conspirator 5 is a snitch, and 2 was the shooter. This 2 right here is going to be, I think he's overcooked. So I think he trying to snitch for a good deal. Fuck McDonald's, nigga. He probably has some Philippe's, Maestro's, for Olive Garden. When he was up in the interrogation room, he said, I need some good steak. But here's the probable cause, right? So remember, a grand jury would analyze probable cause. However, it's really based on this officer's testimony and them basically swearing with their life. So it says Banks, which is Durk, is the leader of the Chicago-based rap collective known as Only the Family, or OTF. In addition to OTF's status as a rap collective, I know, based on the investigation, that OTF acts as an association, in fact, of individuals who engage in violence, which, by the way, that's a very interesting sentence. Why is this not a RICO? That sounds like you're about to RICO somebody. Include murder and assault at the direction of Banks, and to maintain their status in OTF. Now, this line literally is speaking towards basically almost saying there's a RICO coming. You're literally saying OTF is an organization that carries out murders and violence at the behest and the direction of the boss, which is Durk Banks, aka Lil Durk. What that means is that a federal officer called a judge last night because they thought Durk was getting on a plane. And this is why I always said that what Vlad kept saying about Diddy should leave the country. Like, bro, they're watching Diddy. As soon as you're about to leave, they're going to call a federal magistrate, and the magistrate is going to be like, hey, listen, we think you about to run, sign this paper now. They're going to sign it, they're going to lock you up. That's all they need. They'll have local authorities do a traffic stop or something, hold them up for a bit. They think you're going to run. They call into a judge, hey, judge, hey, this is our case so far, blah, blah. We didn't even get to the grand jury. We think this nigga is about to dip out of the country. Now, there is something that's going to be an indictment, but that wasn't ready yet. And they had to get Durk before he got out the country. I believe the feds were following him. And when they realized he was about to leave, They did the last step they could do, which is a criminal complaint to get him locked up. It appears that Quando Rondo put out a indirect statement today, seemingly offering forgiveness for Lil Durk. Basically saying, even though, according to the police, you got my cousin while you were trying to kill me, we've all been through too much. Quando is someone who's, I believe, is a living example of somebody where his career was stripped from him. He got blackballed. He got raided by the police and the feds and got gang charges. He got shot at. His cousin died. And for him, when I see Quando these days, I see a man looking for redemption, but a man who probably realized that it really don't pay to be in these streets. He tried to make it out the streets. That's the goal for everybody. You want to make it out the streets to take care of your family, not make it out of your streets to then control the streets or then have the streets be the shadow or play its part on taking your life apart. So shout out to Quando. We're hearing, not that Durk was ever going to get bond, but the feds have a significant worry that their witnesses might come up missing. And because of that, some of these people, they're either being held in confinement or the government is going through great lengths that they don't get harmed. I actually said yesterday the way that Durk beats his case, unless y'all got Durk on wiretap putting bounties on people's heads, you're going to have people within those rooms. Either they wore a wire or they're going to be able to testify, say, no, Durk did say blah, blah, blah. Because, again, this is kind of a corroboration type of case. Flacco said, the feds believe Lil Durk paid to get these two people killed. Stephon Mack, who killed Durk's brother, D-Thing. They did put out something that caused a lot of people to believe that one of Durk's right-hand man, at least currently, which is Vonnie, was snitching. Look at this headline. Lil Durk found out that his co-defendant OTF Vonnie, KingVon cousin, filed for protective custody when they came to court. Just to be very clear, there is no protective custody that was filed for. This isn't the YSL case. There's not a bunch of snitches that are folding afterwards. The feds come very differently. They already got their snitches. The people who are cooperating with the feds, their cases are either currently sealed or they'll get added added in a superseding indictment later on, or it'll be separately added somewhere else. And at least so far, none of the main guys on Durk's team or OTF squad, none of them are telling. Partly the reason why this order is put in place is to make sure no one could leak anything. Second of all, there is going to be, through discovery, they're going to find out who is telling on them. When you are charged with the crime, there's no secret snitches. They have to let you know, hey, this is how we know this information. All of this is going to come out through discovery. So Durk was on a win streak, if you want to remember this time. And from what I've heard is that D-Thing was just feeling himself. And some people feel like maybe D-Thing let his guard down by even being there, because from what I heard, Club O is not the spot you want to be if you're those type of people on that particular night. Do y'all see FYBJ Main going to O Block and him like, yo, let's squash the beef. Nah, we pushing peace now. It's very easy to forgive your enemies when you have won at the game of life. It doesn't mean that your enemies are down to forgive you, especially when they're losing. So J Main going to O Block and be like, oh yeah, now I'm getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I'm down to forgive y'all niggas. It's all good now. Let's be cool. They're looking at him like, nigga, we're broke, and now we're even more mad at your ass because you're the only one who got rich off of this. F you, get out of O Block. Durk's brother goes to this club thinking, yo, we up millions now. Yo, I'm down to forgive all y'all, man. We don't give a fuck. The niggas who there, they feel more offended. You coming through here, big ass car, jewelry. You think you that nigga? You shitting on us now? You thinking you won the war? You think we just gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, let's be friends now? F you, nigga. That's what some people have kind of told me. He's smart. If you're gonna use a stolen car to do the murder and you have your phone on you that's tracking your location, getting calls and sending messages, of course you should leave your phone in the stolen car after you run away from the stolen car. I would say he's an idiot, but if everybody knows my boy left it on the charger, he's at least getting his battery time up. Salute to that man. So they essentially identified what phone was contacting the phone they found in the car on the charger. They realized that one of the phones must have been had by the other guy that was the second shooter. And now they're kind of tracking or trying to decode what the fuck they were talking about. And this is where they're busting open the case. Because, of course, if I kill someone after being paid to kill someone, 3 minutes after the murder, the police are rushing to the scene. The first thing on my mind is for me to hit up the other murderer, even though we ran separate ways, and ask him, when is the guy who paid us to do the murder gonna pay us